Hello and welcome. We are here with new episode about how to avoid rejection of a research article. Let's begin.
Okay, let's just get right into it. Every single researcher knows this feeling, right? That pit in your stomach when you're about to hit submit, just dreading that rejection email. It feels like such a tough part of the game. But what if I told you it's not about luck at all? It's about having the right strategy. And this is the big idea we're diving into today. This quote really says it all. Most rejections, they don't happen because your science is bad. Nope. They happen because of these small, totally fixable mistakes in the submission itself. And that's actually great news because it means the power to change things is completely in your hands. So let's do it. Let's build that strategy. We're going to take all that anxiety and channel it into a clear, step-by-step plan. The goal? To give your paper the best possible shot at getting that yes. All right, so our strategy kicks off with stage one, the blueprint. Think of this as aiming before you fire. It's all about the really important decisions you have to make before you even think about submitting. Okay, choosing your target. This might be the single most important thing you do. I mean, look at the difference here. You pick the wrong journal, one with a mismatched scope, boom, instant desk rejection. You don't even make it to peer review. All that time and effort just wasted. But if you pick the right journal, one that's perfectly aligned, you're not just reaching the right people, you're telling the editor, hey, I've done my homework, I get what you're about. So you've got your journal in mind. Now you have to ask yourself this, and you need a rock solid answer. What is your unique contribution? Seriously, what's the gap you're filling? Why is this new? Why does it matter? Because journals are flooded with submissions. They want originality. You've got to make sure your special sauce is right there, front and center from the get-go.
Okay, so with our blueprint in place, we move on to stage two, the build. This is where we get our hands dirty with the actual paper, crafting a really clear core.
Let's talk methods. This is so important. A reviewer's trust in your results is built entirely on their trust in your methods. You can't just say what you did. You have to explain why you chose that approach and how, in detail, someone else could do it again. If your methodology section is vague or feels weak, that's like a giant red flag waving at the reviewer. And then there's this classic trap, jargon. You know, your research could be absolutely revolutionary, but if it's buried under a mountain of specialized, clunky language, nobody's gonna get it. The rule of thumb is simple. If there's a simpler word, just use it. Clarity is everything. It shows you're a clear thinker, not just someone trying to sound smart. All right, stage three, the polish. We've built the core, now it's time to make it shine. This is all about mastering that all-important first impression. And I want you to really let this sink in. An editor might only look at your submission for a handful of seconds. That's it. That's the window you have to convince them to keep reading. A few seconds. Which makes this next part, well, everything. Your title and your abstract. That's the whole game right there. The title has to be catchy, sharp, and specific. And the abstract? It needs to be a perfect, tiny version of your whole paper. It's your one shot, your hook. You've got to make it count. So how do you do it? Here's the anatomy of a great abstract. It's a formula, really. What's the question? How'd you study it? What did you find? And the big one, why does it matter? If you can answer those four things clearly and concisely, you've got a winning abstract. It's like your paper's elevator pitch. Nail this and you're already way ahead of the curve. Now for the professional polished checklist. And believe me, this stuff matters way more than you think. Following the journal guidelines to the letter, that shows respect. Citing recent papers, especially from that same journal, that shows you're actually engaged in the conversation. And of course, making sure your figures are clean, everything is labeled perfectly, and running a plagiarism check, that's just baseline professionalism. It signals that you care. Okay. You've laid the blueprint, you've built the core, you've polished it until it shines. We're almost there. It's time for the final checkpoint. Think of it as your pre-flight inspection before takeoff.
And just a quick heads up on this, you need to be prepared for feedback. Even the absolute best papers often get sent back for revisions. That is not a failure. It's just part of the process, part of the scientific dialogue. How you handle those reviewer comments, thoughtfully, respectfully, is a skill that editors really notice.
So this is it, the final moment of truth. The pre-submission go, no-go checklist. Run through these questions and be brutally honest with yourself. Does it fit the journal's scope? Is the research question crystal clear? Can a non-expert understand what you're saying in the abstract? If you can give a confident yes to all of these, then you know you've done everything you can. You're ready. And that brings us to this final, crucial question. It really sums up everything we've talked about. Is your paper ready, or is only your research ready? Because having amazing research is just the first half of the journey. To survive submission and get published, you need a strategy to make sure your paper is every bit as brilliant as the science behind it.